Welcome in. Welcome in. You are joining me today for the weekly live stream here in Be a Yoga Coach Facebook group. My name is Yoga Coach Sarah Leonardo. Welcome in. I'm here to teach you how I've learned to do email marketing for my yoga business. And if you can do me a favor and type live so I know if you join me live, that way I can answer feedback and answer your questions right away. I'd love doing that. And you get your answers, right away. And so, I'm usually here. Thank you for joining me today. I was a 9-to-5 worker. I worked for a big company, hospital turned yoga entrepreneur. And now I work from home as a yoga coach. And I'm here to teach you how I built my business as an entrepreneur. I'm here to teach you how to build an online yoga business, just like I did just a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic hit. And so I'm brand new and new to the game. Okay. And so my mission really in life is the reason why I started doing this, because I've gotten a lot of healing and growth from practicing yoga. And my mission in life is to spread yoga and spiritual healing as it saved my own life and sanity. In these group trainings, I want to give you a leg up in this game, provide you the real mindset shifts that you need to have in from switching from working for an employer and being your own boss, being your own running your own business. It's going to take some mindset shifts to get you started, so that way you can build a strong foundation for your business. Okay, and that's it's going to take some mental and mindset shifts. So I want you to start embracing the abundance that's already yours and help you move out of self-doubt and become more confident in sharing your gifts to the world as a yoga expert. Okay, so like most teachers, you're selling services that are tied to you. And what I teach you in what I teach you here in these trainings, in these free trainings in group, is that that you can stop trading your time for money and really consider investing in building a system that's scalable for you, that doesn't keep you tied to a specific place. You can move anywhere in the world, just like this background, beachy vibes, really anywhere with internet. Okay, so, but today I want to help you wrap your mind around email marketing, which is something that I learned through my mentors. It's really easy once you kind of get a hang of it and kind of know what to expect. So I'm going to give you some bite-sized information today. But first, tell me if you're joining me live, type live. Okay, so that way I can answer your questions. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so let's get started. So email marketing, okay? Email marketing is really a way for your clients to kind of stay in your world, okay? So they know that, they're problem aware, okay? Email marketing comes in handy once they're problem aware, meaning they know they have a problem, right? And they also know that you have a solution to fix their problem. In this case, it's a yoga program or a yoga class, yoga offerings, spiritual healings, okay? And that's why we talk about in this group having an ideal client where you are an expert specifically teaching that field. Maybe you've healed yourself through yoga. Maybe you've just become an expert over the years teaching a specific yoga or spiritual healing. To help you really have better health outcomes, which is what I did when I began my own yoga journey. Okay, I was experiencing really bad symptoms from like autoimmune diseases, and just learning how to make yoga a part of my life just magically fixed it. Yoga is magic. And so I want to help you spread your own magic into the world. And so in the email marketing process, what happens is you create an email marketing list is likely an asset. Okay. Not likely, it is. It's an asset, and you keep them into your world. You share them, share them your stories through your email. You keep them engaged, because that's how they're going to stay interested, is that you're offering these, you're keeping them in touch in your world. So today I'm actually going to show you some tips, and I'm going to share some screens here. We're going to get right to it. So the email marketing, you use online platforms like, they're called email responders. Okay. So email responders lets you hold like thousands of email contacts. And that's why, a lot of companies have them, like Pottery Barn, Bath and Body Works, whatever. You want to stay interested in their deals, right? You want to get in touch if they're going to have a sale, if they're going to have something that's you're likely going to purchase in the future. Okay, and it's the same thing for your business. Okay, and so there's a few favorite email responders out there that I like, and one of them being Active Campaign. Okay, and that one is paid, but there are a few here that I'm going to share and even show you how to create in this live. So one of them is Mailchimp, is a free software. And then one thing that I also begin playing with is Sendinblue. Okay, so let me see if I can log into both of them. But let me go ahead and give you and share you here so that you can kind of see what it looks like. Okie dokie, here we are. So here's Mailchimp. Okay, it's free to get started. Okay, so and if you're starting small, just like I did, you're likely just going to have less than 100 contacts, and Mailchimp is really good for that. And so there are some to-dos for email marketing responder software, is that you need to have a business address tied to it, and it can't be a PO box. Okay, you kind of get looked down on. You need to have a physical address for your business there, because it's just that's one of the things that make you a reliable business. Okay, people like that security that you having physical address. And that's why if you take a look at if you subscribe to any emails, you're going to see different people have their address at the bottom. Okay, and there's always going to be a link where you can unsubscribe. Okay, so there are going to be a few rules, so maybe I need to write the rules, because let's see, there are going to be some rules. And then if you want this, let me know, and I'll share this document with you. Rules to email marketing. Okay, you need to have a physical address when using it, and then at the signature at the bottom. You need to you have to have permission for people to acquire their email address. Okay, you can't just steal people's information without their consent. Okay, we're doing responsible marketing, and so usually you ask to use their email address to keep them updated to your live streams and whatnot, and then they give it to you. Okay, and then you're going to always have the unsubscribe button always there. Okay, there's some people out there who like hide it, and that's not responsible either. So don't hide the unsubscribe buttons. But I think for softwares like ActiveCampaign and Mailchimp, it's automatically there. Okay, have permission to get their email addresses. Okay, and so free email marketing softwares out there includes Mailchimp. Okay, if you wanted to go and this is the one I've actually like played around with and know how to use. Mailchimp, and then there's Sendinblue is a new one, and I've been trying to log into it. I stopped it, and then this one's a paid one. Okay, paid but affordable. So this one's about like $15 a month. I like ActiveCampaign, and a lot of and a lot of the people that are new to the industry start off with that, and it's really easy to use. And I help you. I help teach that, and if you start working with me, okay. But here is Mailchimp, okay. And so this is where you can add, you go here, right, the dashboard, and then I think you fill in your company details down here. You can even upload your logo, whatnot, all the fun stuff that I like to do. Let's see what I have, right? And then, make sure you generate a strong password, put your email address there. You can upload your photo here, okay? And then you can upgrade to the different billing. Right now it's, it's a free monthly plan. But if you can see here, you can start to upgrade, and then you can they have access. See how it's, oh, it actually has 2,000 contacts. Yeah. The only thing that I don't like about, even though it's 2,000 contacts, the thing I don't like about Mailchimp is that it doesn't allow automations. Automations is allows you to, where did I put that? Here it is. Email automations allow you to send in emails automatically. Okay, so, and I teach that. I teach you how to do that. Is that like if you've joined, this group, you likely, if you gave us your email address, we put it in. You gave us permission to do that. We put it in our email system, and then we keep you updated, with any offerings and live streams and trainings here in group. And that's what you're gonna do to your potential clients, okay? And so I'm actually gonna show you real quick what it looks like. Okay, so, but let me see, I'm gonna stop share real quick because I don't want to share any email information here. But I'm gonna show you real quick what it looks like. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm not seeing any questions right now, but I'm happy to answer some live questions today. And even on the replay, if you have this on the replay, go ahead and type in replay, okay? And I can still answer your questions that way. Okay, so what's great about the email responders is that you can schedule your content ahead of time. So what I like to tell my students, my mentees, is to batch create content, and you start scheduling them out. And that's how you begin to nurture your clients. That's how you begin to keep people into your world, keep people interested in what you offer. If you are, if you overcome an autoimmune disease just by like doing yoga every day, just like I did, people want that. People are going to pay to do that. Okay. What people want is accountability and coaching, and to be handheld, because it's, like a lot of us, we're easily distracted, and people will pay you to, for for a solution, because it's a health issue, and they're paying like thousands and thousands of dollars in medication and treatment for medications. You know, it's insane. And I worked for a medical system, and you know, getting into, what is it called, rheumatology. Getting into a rheumatology clinic has a huge wait. It takes months to get an appointment as a new patient. Okay, so and so yoga has so many benefits, and it's not just autoimmune, like, you know, keeping healthy, cancer, and I'm going to share with you the different yoga coaches, experts that I love following, and they have an amazing business. And then, you know, I would recommend maybe joining their email list, see how they market to their clients. Okay, specifically because their offerings are yoga related, spiritual healing related. Okay. Okay, we are talking about automations. I got sidetracked here. So here it is, automations. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't share any information here live. Okay, so here is, here are automations. So automations are like really systemic, you know, ways that people receive emails. Okay, and so here's a really simple one. Okay, if you join our group, you would likely enter our email automation, welcome to the yoga coach group. Okay, and I've written that months ago. Okay, but it comes in for every you know, for every new person that joins your world. Okay, and this is what I talk about when I say building systems that can help you scale. Okay, you're not going to be sending an email for each person. That's just, I don't want you to do that. Okay, so we teach you how to do that here. So I'm going to open up this automation for you just so you kind of know. Okay, so when people comes into your world, they get subscribed to a list, and they automatically, or you can also add different triggers here, right? So a trigger can be subscribed to a list, or submits to a form that you create, clicks or a certain email. It's wild. And so what happens is you get sent a welcome to your group email, and has all the details, you know, to follow. And then, you know, if people get busy, okay, people don't check their emails. And then, so sometimes, you know, if they don't check your email, it's going to send it again if they haven't opened it. That's why they have these conditions here. It says wait 12 hours. And then if it says like, has the person opened it? Yes or no. And if not, they send another one, and you can just keep doing that. Okay. And then that's how we create the automation. Okay. I teach you this, but this is what I mean. You keep your people nurtured. That's what an automation is. But for Mailchimp, the free plans, you know, it's not like that, but it's still really good to kind of, you know, especially if you're still learning the business, if it's your first year, or if you haven't added this to your business yet, it's just good to kind of get a feel of what this is. Okay. So going back, so here are different terms. Okay, so there's email automation, just explained. Okay, and then there's campaigns. So campaigns are emails that you send to like hundreds of people that subscribe to your list, hundreds or thousands, or, you know, if you're just starting out, it's going to be, you know, maybe 50 people, right? And so campaigns are emails that you send to multiple people at once. Okay. And then, you know, and then it has a call to action. Okay. Which is an email that has a call to action. What is a call to action? So call to action in marketing is, you know, people are not passively just looking at your stuff. You're getting them to interact with you, to, you know, get them engaged in your content in your world, right? Call to action can, mean anything from join my group or, type, a comment below is like a common one, right? Subscribe. Those are things called call to action. Okay. And so in these emails, you're kind of going through, you're making them go through your funnel. If you haven't seen the funnels training, I'm going to show you, I can tag you there. So just let me know, just type funnel. If you're curious about that, type funnel and I'll tag you to the training. Okay. And so you kind of take them around, you nurture them. And what you're doing with the funnel is that you're addressing objections, meaning like you're addressing the things that's making them fearful of not buying from you, making them fearful of not interacting with you. And so, these are just some things that we go into, more detail once we start working with you. Okay. Let me see if there are any questions here in live. I don't see any. Let me know if you're joining me live, type live. I really love to see if I can help answer some questions for you. So let me see, can you help me out? Am I still sharing? Okay, so let me see. So this is the Send in Blue one. And then when you are in this, when you're like having multiple platforms, I highly suggest you using a password holder or creator. The one I like to use is LastPass. Okay, what it does, it holds all your passwords, and I highly encourage you to create highly secure password and have it for have different passwords. Okay, that's another thing that you want to do for online security, is that I have colleagues that have been hacked, and because they use the same passwords for all of them. So highly recommend using LastPass, and it just stores multiple passwords and helps generate like really secure ones. Okay. And I'm going to, so are you seeing the screen here? Okay. So yeah, so that's what that is. So let's see what you can do. You can kind of play with it, design email. I don't know what I did here. And so, so this one, I just kind of played with it. This is an email that you can send to multiple people. Okay. And then you can add the recipients here. In this particular platform, you can add the emails here. I'm not going to open this because there's some email addresses here. Add from. You can add like from you, right? Email address. Add subject. Okay. Subject line, title. Okay. Preview. Let's see, we're just kind of testing. Design email. Okay, let's see what we can get done here. Just use a basic one. I recommend just kind of the simple text starting out, and that's what you want to do as you start out, and see how it looks right here. Oh, we haven't designed it, I guess. Oh, this is the actual, sorry. This is the actual email that we can design. Okay. And these are called like, modules. You can kind of drag, drag things here. Here's to drag text, right? And then this is where you write your, your mailing address, right? Your physical address. And this is where people can unsubscribe from your list and whatnot. And then of course you can test send it to your email just to see how it looks. Okay. So you see if you can design it here. Design. Oh, here's a, join my yoga class, join my free, okay, save and close, and then click on this one, and then you can edit from here, okay, see? And then here, what these are whoops, see what I just did there? This is, these are linked call to actions. This is where, this is what a call to action is, okay? Is, what you do is you highlight, what their problem is. Are you experiencing, I'm just gonna go with the autoimmune thing. Are you experiencing autoimmune and want to see some of the moves that I use to, help inflammation, to keep inflammation down? Join my class, and and then you send the link here, and you can just type it in, and then there's a little, it usually looks like this. Okay, this little link thing, you can link your, where you want people to go to your world. Okay, so this one is saying with link to web address, a file. Okay, maybe you create like a PDF on Canva. I can show you how to do that too. Just type, how do I get Canva? What's Canva? I can show you what, to give out free, things so that people will get to try out what it's like to work with you before they go ahead and purchase a high ticket package to work with you. When I say high ticket package, I help teach and create a yoga program designed so that you can work with clients that pay you at least $1,000 and up to work with you for 12 weeks. Okay. And so, you want to maybe, there's here it is. I put some stuff here. There's the file. You can like LinkedIn, you can link in pictures there. Okay. So, that's what you're working on. You got to be careful too, because sometimes you got to like save it before, okay. So it saved it. Okay. That's good. And then you can take the image card, right? You can take the image card and you can drag it over and put like a picture of yourself here. Okay. See, let's do that. Let's take like, see how fun, and you just have to make it smaller. You just have to play with that a little. Okay. And then you have to be careful about not sending anything too big. Like I think this is too big. So, you don't want to overwhelm the people. Maybe I'll have to resize. Yeah. Oh, you can change the dimensions here. That's good. So now you can change it down here if you want to do that. Okay. But you don't want to overwhelm the receiver with a huge file picture. Okay. So for most of the time, you want to use small, but you can kind of keep it at like maybe your logo or mostly just text. Okay. But that's kind of how, what that is, the call to action, right? So this is the link, or you link things here. So say, click this one up here to link in like PDFs, or to put in for them to click on, right? Or maybe like a Zoom class, okay? Or to take them to another place in your world that requires a link. Okay, and then you save and close and continue. Oh, these are called blocks. Okay. So if you're seeing this, these are very much, get to know these blocks. You're going to see them again in different online platforms as you play around. So that's what your email is going to look like. Okay. And they also have rules, they won't let you send out things. Another thing is you can't send out like, you cannot send out like salesy, you know, if you like write in all caps, like don't write in all caps or like nothing sensational on the subject line, because it's going to get kicked. You're going to get kicked to spam. Okay. That's another kind of rule. Okay. So these are just a bit, a little bit of things that, that help with email marketing. Hi, Krista. Thanks for joining in. Okay. Awesome. So that's a little bit of what those email marketing, rules. So if you want a copy of this, type copy, just so that you kind of have notes on what to do with that. And I don't see any more comments or questions. So I'm going to go right on in to the card reading. Okay. The tarot card pull to give you the energy of the business, to give you, encouragement and motivation to help you start your business. Okay. What does the collective, the people that are watching this, need to hear right now in terms of encouragement, in terms of starting, in terms of preparing for starting an online business? Okay. Woo. I like this one. This one came right out. This is the Knight of Cups. Cups is really related to emotions. Okay. And so with the Knight of Cups, you can see he's, riding pretty steadily. He's not like the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is just like pure energy going full blast, right? And so the Knight of Wands is a bit more like measured. He's a bit more measured, and you can see he's crossing the river there, and just being really careful about what he's looking to accomplish. He's a knight, so he's still related to doing the work, doing the right kind of work to be able to get to where he needs to. Okay, so that is the energy for today. Today is, we are in Capricorn season, and also a new moon in Capricorn, if I'm not mistaken, which means our first new moon of the year, which helps you remember to release some things that are not, serving you, and to help you kind of get started into the new year. Okay, so this is all I have for today. I'm yoga coach Sarah. I'm happy to answer questions, feedback, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye.